Well, g'day everybody, and welcome back to FS19 now. Precision farming. This is a look at precision farming. I'm probably going to do this in a few parts, I think, because there is so much involved in it. However, I know that it came out a couple of days ago. I've been kind of waiting until all the YouTube heroes do all of their get all of their videos out and stuff before I did a video myself. So I've set up a field here, and if I go into here and we have a look at field 18 here, it is all cultivated, and as you can see, it doesn't need ploughing, so it is a plain field. Now, the first thing that we'll notice with precision farming, and we will get into this, is that the fertilization state and the lime state now see precision farming, as you can see over here on the right hand side. So we've got weeds like we normally do, needs ploughing like we normally do, but instead of having needs fertilizing and needs lime, you can see that these options have actually changed. Now, precision farming is something that I'm not sure a lot of people will get into because it is quite complex. The idea of precision farming is to scientifically manipulate the dirt in your field to get the best crop that you can possibly get out of your field, and we'll see how that works as we move through it. It's not any different in regards to fertilization and liming and stuff like that. It's like we would normally do. We would lime a field maybe every 3, I think. Farming Sim's set to every 3 harvests. We would need to plough and lime and all of that type of stuff, and continually fertilizing as well. So there's still things that people haven't worked out yet in regards to how many times you need to fertilize and stuff like that. But what we're going to look at today in the first part is the first part of precision farming, which is doing soil samples. Now, just before we get into this stuff here, before we do, you will notice now, as I said, we also see these options here, but you'll also notice there's an extra tab up here, which is the precision farming tab. Now, down the bottom here, you can see laboratory, currently no samples to analyze because we haven't done any samples yet. But what we can do is we can click on fields that we own, and we can see a bit of an economic analysis of the field. How much you've earned from the field, how much you've spent on the field, what type of yield you get. All that type of information there is going to be available for us in the future if you do go the precision farming route in Farming Sim. And as I said, a lot of people probably won't, because it does add a lot of extra work to your farm simming and stuff like that. And unless you've got the time to do it, you might be somebody who just wants to just jump on a field, and just jump in Farm Sim when you get the opportunity to and spend an hour working and stuff. This probably isn't going to be for those type of people. You can also see total values, which is basically, say over 5 or 6 seasons. Now, as far as I am aware, this does work with seasons. You'll also notice in this menu here, we also have, if we go back to field 18 there, you can see total costs, because I've done some, ploughing. I've ploughed this field and I've cultivated it. So you can see the total cost that the field has cost us so far, which I actually really, really like. It includes the vehicle maintenance, the AI helper costs, and fuel costs. So that's pretty cool. Over the other side here in the filter area, you'll notice we've got different ground types: loamy sand, sandy loam, and silt clay. At the moment, on field 18, you can't see anything, and that's because we haven't done any soil samples as yet. But these are the type of soil that you will find on all of your on all of your fields. Now, different types of soil are suitable for more suitable for different types of crop, and it's a matter of balancing all of these and getting this area to the getting your soil to the best state that you can possibly get to harvest the best yield and to be able to grow the best yield on that field. So, other filters that we've got here, you can see we've got pH levels, which are related to lime, I think, and nitrogen. No, nitrogen, yeah, and nitrogen, which is related, I think, to fertilization. I might have that around the wrong way, as well as a yield as well, which will show you what type of yield you're going to get from your field. But we will have a look at all this in a moment. Now, in the store here, under cars, you will require the John Deere Gator, which is a new addition to this, and you will need the 3-point hitch there. If you're not doing it, then you have a Gator without a 3-point hitch, but you require the 3-point hitch for precision farming. So you will need to purchase that. That's $23,600. You'll also need to go into, I think it is miscellaneous here, and at the end there you'll find this Scout, and this Scout is the unit that actually takes the soil samples for you, and this sits on the back of the Gator. Now, I'm not sure. You can probably use this on a 3-point hitch on a tractor or something, but I haven't tried it out, so I might try that out at some point. The other thing that you will notice in miscellaneous, I think it is these two buildings here. Now, what these two buildings do, they are GPS base stations. You don't need to have the GPS mod installed or anything like that. This is purely what this does. As you can see down here, this station provides your vehicles with a better GPS signal, and it helps your AI helpers to drive more precise and do their work faster. So again, it increases the efficiency and reduces the cost of growing a crop on a field. So what we're going to do is we're going to place this just down here because we are going to need it at some point. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place this right here. Let's see. I might rotate it around. I might actually place the small one. I think we'll place the small one because it'll it'll be a little bit easier. All right, so what I'll do is I'll just rotate this, and let's see. We'll just put it in here. Just sit it down here. Now it doesn't matter where you place this on the map, so you would probably more than anything place it place it at your farm, so it doesn't have to be next to a field, and you only need to place one of these as well, so we will place that there. All right, so what do we have to do as a first stage of precision farming? What we need to do is we need to go onto our field and we need to take soil samples over the entire field to get a good coverage on the field. So what we're going to do is we're going to jump into here. There we go. I just got my controller caught up there, and we are going to drive out onto the field. All right. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to unfold the soil sampler. Now, you can see that our mini map zoomed in at the bottom there, and we have a green 25-meter radius area around our icon down on that map down there. So what we want to do is we need to cover the entire field with soil samples. So what we want to do is we want to use that each time you take a soil sample, it will do a 25 meter radius around the sampler. So if you understand what I mean. So what we need to do now is we need to lower this and take a soil sample. Now, as you can see, the icon is flashing, the area is flashing down on the mini map down there, and what you will see now is that we now have our first soil sample in here. Okay, as you can see, it's showing that our pH value in the field info down at the bottom right hand corner is bad. So obviously we're going to have to do some work in regards to that now. It does have 3 little pots there for taking 3 soil samples. You can take multiple soil samples. You don't have to send these soil samples in for analysis and then and then continue on. You can just continue to take soil samples. So what we're going to do now, we're just going to drive over to here, and we're going to take another soil sample here, like so. There we go, perfect. And I'm going to do this over the entire field basically. So we'll do the first few together, and then I will continue on and basically get the rest of them done off camera, I think. So but the idea there is to as you can see, is to move around and take as many soil samples as you possibly can to make sure you get coverage on the entire field. Now these soil samples, they do cost you money, so you will be paying for analysis, which makes sense. So you'll be sending these soil samples off to a lab for analysis, and the lab will be sending those results back. Now it doesn't take too long really in game wise. So what we might do is we might be able to just get this so that we don't have to do one down the middle. Again, this will add to the cost of sampling your field. So it all sort of adds to the cost of building of growing your crop. So now we won't get into the growing crop stages. We won't get into the fertilizing stages or anything in this very first look. But what we will do is we will get as many soil samples as we possibly can, or as little as we possibly can to ensure coverage of the field. So I'll just move up here. We'll get one more up here, and we should be okay. One more about here should do. There we go. And as you can see, they do make it easier by having the icons on the mini map down there, so that you do know what you're doing, so you can see where you have and haven't been, and make sure that you get the right amount of samples that you need to get for to get the best out of your field. So right, we should do another one here, which is perfect. And I was going to do the rest of them off camera, but we're nearly done. It doesn't really take long. So we've invested probably 30 grand, I think, in this equipment to be able to do this. And as I said, we might test whether or not you can actually do it on the front of a tractor at some point as well. So, all right, let's get a sample here. There we go, and I will lift that. I will fold this unit up. And we have got samples on the entire field. There was a couple of tiny little bits that we missed out on. So what we'll do is we'll move this over here and we'll park it out of the way, and then we will see what happens when we send these samples off. So let's see, send soil samples for analysis, which we will do. Okay, samples are now sent to the laboratory for analysis. You will see the results on the soil types map soon. Beautiful. Okay, so that is perfect. So we've gone through, we've taken our samples. It'd be nice if they could have a little, like just show a little hole or something where you've taken a soil sample, just so you know where you've been. But that's it. Let's jump into the map now and see what we've got. So it is going to take a little while to come back, and we will know when that happens. So you can see here that soil sample has been taken. So now we're just going to wait for the results. It's also gone into field 17 a little bit there, but that doesn't matter. So now what we're going to do is we're going to wait for the results of these, which have just come through. If we jump out of there, you can see that it cost us $800. Yep, 800 euros to analyze those soil samples. So what you can see here now is if we have a look at it, we've got a majority of this is loam, and from what I can tell, loam is probably the best soil type to have rather than loamy sand and silty clay, because you have to do the least amount of work on it. We just drop over to the pH levels. You can see pH levels are sitting in the majority of the area, probably about 5.75. Around here, that's about 6, and over in the corner here, that's about 6.25. In regards to our nitrogen levels, you can see our nitrogen levels are absolutely horrific right there. So we've got a majority of area has 20 kilograms of per hectare, and there's a tiny little area there that has none. All right, beautiful. So the next stage is, and as you can see, if we walk around down on the bottom right hand side, you can see pH level bad. Over here where we were, pH level okay, and pH level okay. So it gives you a reading 6.125, and ideal for this sandy loam is 6.5. Over here, loam pH value is bad. It's at 5.875, and the ideal level is 6.750. So what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to grab some lime for starters, and we will work with some lime on this field, and we will see what changes that makes. So in effect, what it's doing is it's giving us an idea on what we need to do for to create the perfect growing conditions and perfect growing soil in this field here. So what we will do now is I will grab some lime, and I will see you when I have done that. Okay guys, so I'm back. I've got the spreader. I have it full of lime at the moment, and as you can see up in the top left hand corner there is a pH value lime application. Now there's also an application rate there, and you can see in brackets it says auto. Now what the game does basically is and you can set it to manual if you want, but what the game does is it actually automatically spreads the amount of lime you need in specific areas of the field to suit what's required, and it automatically adjusts that as you move along. So now any areas that you have limed that have the appropriate level pH levels, the lime spreader will actually automatically turn off when you're doing it yourself. This is where the GPS base unit comes into play. Now if I had an AI worker do this lime spreading for me or do fertilizing for me, this GPS unit helps them do that more efficiently. That's that little building that we placed over there. So what we're going to do now is I am going to turn this on, and we're going to spread lime. Now you can see the application rate down in the up in the top left corner is adjusting dependent on how much lime is required in different areas of the field. Now you'll also see a gauge going up there. The checkered flag is the ideal level that we want to get a field to. So what we're doing is we're spreading the appropriate amount automatically that is required to be able to get to that checkered flag basically, or to that goal of making sure that our pH levels are correct. So you can see as we spread along, you will see that the application rate will adjust. At the moment we're in the loam area, which requires 6.13 for spreading and stuff, so that won't change too much, purely because most of our field is, you can see it's changed a bit there, most of our field is actually loam, so surprisingly enough on this one. So what we're going to do is we'll keep going with this one, and what I just wanted to show you, which I'll do in a sec, once we get up to the end here, you'll see that it's saying increasing pH to optimal value for loam, which is 6.75. So that's why it's spreading 6.13 at the moment, because most of this field is loam. But what you will find is if I just leave this running, if I run back over this area here, you will see what will happen is this should actually shut off, as you can see, because you'll see we've spread the amount of lime required to get to our 6.75, and you can see that on the gauge there we are at the checkered flag. So despite the fact that the spreader is actually running, it is not spreading anything. It's not spreading anything at all because we already have enough lime for the required pH levels that we do there. So we will run across here and you will see it change, and when we get up into the top corner up here, you'll also notice that we have an area of silty clay up there. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to reverse this over here, and we'll just get this little corner here. You want to make sure that if you're going to all this effort that you do get as much coverage as you possibly can. So we've got a little area up here. It's still saying loam because, as you remember, our field was all loam, or a majority of it, but there's a little area over here that is actually silty clay, I think. Let's say silty something, which we will probably run over at some point. It was just really quick. We actually just missed it there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the rest of this spread. I'll put a worker on, and you'll be able to see that a worker, if it works, there we go. A worker will also do that. Now down on the map, down in the left-hand corner there in our little mini map, you can see that there is you can see where you have gone and what type of pH levels you now actually have in your soil, which again is pretty cool and is a pretty cool addition, because what it's doing is it's showing you what type of work you are getting there. So this GPS unit is obviously helping us save money by making sure that this worker is more efficient in their spreading, and more efficient in their sort of work patterns and stuff like that. So, although he's not doing that good a job anyway, is he? So there you go. The application rate is now moving up and down as it goes. In the loam areas, it's just doing a 6.13 all the way through. So, but as you can see in the map there, we are getting the coverage that we need on the field itself. And I do love that overlay down in the down on the mini map there, and how it changes when you're actually in this mode. So it's definitely added a whole new level of crop management and of field management to Farm Sim. So if you really want to get into this and get the best that you possibly can out of your fields, and you're willing to spend the time and to learn this system, then it's definitely worth it. And this is what farmers are doing in real life now. This is exactly what farmers are doing in real life. They're using scientific technology to get the best that they possibly can out of their crops. So, which is pretty amazing, and it's pretty amazing that Giants have brought this into the game for free. So there we go. Perfect. Just got a little bit there that I'm just going to do. It's not going to let me do that tiny little bit. That's okay. All right, beautiful. So now what we're going to do is we're now going to look at the map again and have a look at what change that has made. So if we go up into here, you can see now in regards to pH levels, we are at pretty well optimal where we sort of want to be right through there for the different soil types that we have. So, so our pH levels now are good. So what we're going to do now is we're going to look into our nitrogen levels. And nitrogen levels are adjusted by putting on fertilizer. Now, you can put manure, slurry, or you know, pelleted fertilizer or whatever. So if you've got your manure and your slurry from your animals, then you would be better off throwing that on there. The three different types of fertilization there all work, each of those. So, but what we're going to do is we might put down some. We'll probably just put down fertilizer, I think, for this sample. So, all right. So what I'm going to do is I will fill this up with fertilizer, and I will be back in a sec. All right, beautiful. So I've got the fertilizer in. Now you will see that the menu's changed to nitrogen, mineral fertilizer application. There's a target there and there is a current. So what we are going to do is we are going to turn this on and off we go. Now I'm probably way off on my spreading here, but again you will notice that the application rate will change dependent on what goal we need to reach. So 666 kilograms up here, and you can see it moving around and changing dependent on the current nitrogen levels of the field and the section of field that we are actually spraying in. So excuse me, sorry about the coughing, guys. All right, so we will jump down here and off we go again. And if we keep our eyes on that, I mean, again, most of it was sand, most of it was loam. So, unfortunately, you don't know what the levels of your soil are going to be like until you've actually taken a soil sample. It would have been nice if I had got one with a little bit more variation rather than just being loam all the way through. However, that's the way that it went, so that's the way that it is. All right. Let's just duck around here. We'll get these done. And as you can see, 592 at the start there and 666 kilos now per hectare that it is applying. So again, set to auto. You can set it to manual as far as I am aware, although I haven't tried to do that. But trying to adjust the spray rate and stuff to suit in manual, wow, I reckon that would be very complex and require a lot of concentration and a lot of work. So, all right, let's get in and get this done as well. And again, you can see down, down the bottom on the mini map, you can actually see what we are achieving there by getting our nitrogen levels up to the level that they need to be at, which again is the green area there. So. There are still a couple of red areas there. We will have a look at those areas and see if we need to do a second, oh, missing a bit there, and see if we need to do a second fertilization there, which may need to be done at the first growth stage. So after this fertilizer has actually bedded itself in, basically. So which is what I'm guessing that it probably will be. Also right up the edge of this field as well, it looks like. So there we go. It's just stopped for a moment there because we had enough running into there, and that's it there. So let's duck over now. So we've put one stage of fertilizer down here now. Let's just duck over to here where we know that we had those red areas, and let's see if it actually does anything. And it is adding more fertilizer to that area, but it is not making a difference. So it might be to the right hand side there that it's adding. So I'm guessing at the next stage of crop that we next growth stage of crop, after we've planted and stuff, that we will probably need to go through and fertilize some of this again, and we are going to test that one out in the next episode anyway. So I shall turn that off. I shall leave this beast right here. There we go, and we'll turn you off. Okay, beautiful. So what you will find is that there are areas, pH value perfect, nitrogen 0 kilograms, and if we go into some of these red areas, which I'm assuming will be up here somewhere, we've got a perfect pH. There we go, 180 kilograms a hectare of nitrogen, now 200. We are in an area that is going to need extra fertilization at a point when this fertilization has bedded in, and probably at the first growth stage. So what we're going to do is we'll have a quick squiz at the map now. We will click on here, and as you can see, soil samples cost us £800. A lime, we've spent $2,211 on lime. Mineral fertilizer, $3,227. I mean, you could reduce that cost by using your own manure or slurry. Total costs at the moment for this field is €7,734. Now, you got to remember that we're setting this field up for the very first time, and this is going to change. This won't be exactly the same every time we've done a harvest. So in the initial setup, it may actually cost us quite a bit of money to get everything happening. After our first crop out of this, and when we're doing the next one, which we will test moving into this a little bit further, then that obviously won't cost us as much, because we won't require as much fertilizer, we won't require as much lime and stuff like that. So in fact, I'm guessing that the possibility is that we won't require any lime at all when we do our next samples after our first harvest on this. Just having a sip of coffee there, guys. So also worth noting is in the menu here, you will see precision farming here. There is a new section in the help menu, which will give you an idea of everything that you need to know about working with precision farming on this. So that's worth reading through, obviously, if you are going to get into this. But at this point in time, we have a field that is almost completely prepped for seeding and for getting the best yield that we possibly can. So I'm going to go off camera, and I'm going to seed all of this. I don't know, I'm just going to put, I might just put something like barley in, I think. Just sort of a standard cereal crop. I will put that in the ground, and I will let it get to the first growth stage. And in the next part of this precision farming series, we will run a fertilizer through here and try and get those levels up. Try and get those nitrogen levels up to where we need to be in this area here. And we will see how we go in that. Then we will get the crop to full harvest stage, and we will harvest that crop and see what type of yield we get, see what type of profit we make from the field, and then we will do this field with the same crop entirely from scratch again in another episode, just to make a comparison on the difference between setting up our field initially and doing another harvest or a second crop on it. So hopefully this is giving you a good rundown on what you need to do initially. Now there's probably a pile of stuff that I don't know about this, but at this point in time, you know, it's all pretty new, so it's all pretty new to everybody in the farming sim community. So, but I hope it certainly helps you with your initial foray into precision farming, if you are going to use precision farming in your gameplay. I'm tossing up. I'm tossing up because, quite honestly, I think it's actually really, really cool. At the same time, it adds a pile of extra work to your fields and stuff. But I don't know. I may even bring precision farming into some of my Let's Plays. One of the things that I like the best is this economic analysis of the field and of what it's cost you, and the fact that you can go total values over, 5, 6, 10, however many harvests you've done. You can see exactly how much money you are making out of a field, including seeds and all that type of stuff. And I really, really, really love that. So anyway, guys, if you like this one, please hit like. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, definitely subscribe to the channel. I am going to go on and do episode 2 of this now, or part 2 of this look at precision farming. But in the meantime, enjoy your farming, and thank you very much for watching. Bye, guys.